Well, good afternoon folks, and welcome to another Flight Simulator 2020 scenery review. Today we are in the Balearic Islands and we are at Ibiza International Airport. It's one of the three island airports, the other two being Palma and Mallorca and Menorca. This is Ibiza, Lima Echo India Bravo. It's a new payware scenery by IniBuilds, only came out a few days ago. And happy to say this is available for both the PC and Xbox versions S and X. So if you own either of those two versions of Xbox, you can use this scenery. So the download is 1.58 gig and the scenery installs at 3.25 gigabytes. Now it's currently available only from IniBuilds website. The price is €15.87. Or it's $15.77 US, or £13.49 UK. Note, these prices are direct quotes from the IniBuilds website and do not include VAT on tax, which of course may vary depending on which country you're in when you make the purchase. So you remember to add tax, VAT, to those prices depending on your country. I have to say, initially when I first looked at this, it really is a pretty stunning scenery, so much detail, and you'll see what I mean when we have a look at the Jetway operation in a moment. But it's a really nice airport. I must thank IniBuilds very kindly for sending me a copy of this to review. I didn't buy it, it was sent over very kindly by the team at IniBuilds so I can review it. One thing straight off the bat, I discovered flying in here the other day that the ILS for Runway 06 is missing. Tried it in the 737-800, in the end did a visual landing thankfully. Then later I took a default Cessna C172 Classic and selected it and tested it, and still it was missing. The 2.4 end works fine, but as of this moment in time, today, the 29th of August 2022, the ILS for Runway 06 is missing. It doesn't seem to work, certainly not in my sim. I have notified IniBuilds about this and it's being passed on to the development team for them to look at. So as ever, let's start with some history for you. Ibiza International Airport, also known as Aeroport de Ibiza, Lima Echo India Bravo, is a public use international airport serving the islands of Ibiza and Formentera, part of the Spanish Balearic Islands chain, the other two islands being Mallorca and Menorca. Owned by a company called ANEA and operated by AENA, the airport is located 4.3 miles or 7 kilometers southwest of Ibiza town. In 2020, the airport handled over 2 million passengers, but before COVID in 2019, this airport handled pretty much over 8 million, making it the 13th busiest airport in Spain. As the island is a major European holiday destination, it features both year-round domestic services and several dozen seasonal routes to cities across Europe. It's also used as a seasonal base for the Spanish carrier Vueling or Vueling, depending on how you say it. The airport was first established as a temporary military airport during the Spanish Civil War of 1936-39, and it remained open after the conflict for use as an emergency airport. In 1949, the site was used to operate some domestic and international tourist flights, but it was then closed in 1951. It was not until 1958 that work commenced to reopen the airport as a reaction to the rapid development of the tourist market in the Balearic Islands, particularly in neighbouring Mallorca. The airport reopened on the 1st of April 1958 with the first destinations during that year, including Palma, Barcelona, Valencia and Madrid. The airport was expanded progressively over the subsequent decades with the runway, taxiway, apron and terminal enhancements designed to cope with the growing air tourist market, which by the late 1990s was generating over 3.6 million passengers a year at the airport. In 2011, the airport provisionally handled over 5.6 million passengers and around 61,000 aircraft movements, an increase of nearly 12% and 8.4% respectively compared with 2010. Currently over 40 different airlines operate into and out of Ibiza, many of them seasonal. So just quickly going to go through the features list of this airport. As I said, IniBuilds have actually done a really amazing job with this, and just to give you some idea, they've got handmade ground polygons with crisp bespoke texture sets on the runways, aprons, paths and roads, thousands of hand-placed custom car models, true-to-life airport landside recreation with custom ground decals, signposts, vegetation, parking lots and more, accurately modelled and positioned dynamic airport lighting within interior and exterior, hand-placed high-definition vegetation, signage, ground clutter, vehicles, handling objects and more, all of which have been custom made in-house by the team, bespoke taxi signage as it is in the real world, highly detailed models of all airport buildings, objects and surroundings, main custom terminal, interior with lighting and custom objects, custom built jetways with PBR texturing and animations, accurate logos and real world decals scattered throughout the airport, custom ground handling vehicles unique to Ibiza, level of detail optimization for every model, compiled and optimized also for Xbox Series X and S, which I think is a plus. Detailed custom terminal interior model, windshield rain effects for the terminal and other assets, animated palm trees at entryways, and use of the latest Flight Simulator 2020 SDK features to allow for the best optimization and performance. So they've done quite a bit to this, and in a little while we'll just get down closely and have a look. Let's go down and talk about runways. So as you can see, we've lowered the light again just below sunset so you can have a look at the runway lighting options. So we're looking down the throat of runway 24. Ibiza operates a single runway 2406 measuring 9,186 feet or 2,800 meters in length, and it's made from asphalt. And the airport itself lies at an elevation of 24 feet or 7 meters. Both ends of the runway feature an instrument landing system to Cat 1, high intensity airfield lighting system version 2, and precision approach path indicators on both sides of the runway. In addition, both runways have VOR approach options available, with runway 24 having an additional NDB approach option too. So here you can see all the lighting. Here are the pappies either side of the runway, centre line lighting here, end identify lighting, everything you need for a normal landing. As I said, runway 24 has the ILS, runway 06 currently it's missing. We'll deal with that in a minute. So a note about ILS procedures. This is something I looked up and I've had the question, so I thought I'd try and answer it. Many airports, including Ibiza, have an ILS X, Y and Z approach option. Why is this? Well, often the choice of ILS will depend on which instrument approach fix, or IAF, you will arrive by. At Ibiza, runway 24 for example has all three ILS options, and normally the pilot would select ILS Z or Zulu and work backwards, subject to ATC instructions. In most cases, each ILS option has a different instrument approach fix. ILS Zulu at Ibiza has Gizlu as the instrument approach fix at 3,000 feet, some 19 miles away from the runway threshold. ILS Yankee has a totally different procedure where the Ibiza NDB is the instrument approach fix with a hold and or descent to land from this point. ILS X-Ray is similar to ILS Zulu except that the missed approach procedure is different. So it can be seen that from the different options are used to distinguish approaches to the same runway, often with the same navigation aid or with an additional aid in case of the primary aid being unserviceable or failed, or where the missed approach path might be different. There are also other reasons for different ILS approach options too. So I hope that little piece of information maybe explains something that I wasn't aware of and you weren't aware of to some extent, but just gives you an idea why they have different lettered ILS approach options for the same runway. So let's go down and have a look at runway 06. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 06. An interesting thing here we can see here, there's a difference in the approach lighting system. Pretty much everything else is as it should be. You've got high intensity airfield lighting system, centre line lights, the BAPIs either side, end identifier lights, but you also have the different sequence of approach lighting here, which is perfectly okay, and as I said, it's perfectly alright. But for the moment, as of today, remember the instrument landing frequency, the system for 06 is unserviceable, doesn't work. So you can do, for runway 06, you can do a VOR approach, or you can do a visual approach, having got to the instrument approach fix on the charts. So that about does it for runways. As I've said, I've already contacted IniBuilds about the missing ILS on 06. Hopefully they'll release a fix for that shortly. So before we go any further, time to bring it back to daylight, go down to the ramp and do a jetway test. Okay, so we're going to do a jetway test here at Ibiza. We're on stand 27, we're in the SkyUp 737-800 PMDG. And just a little tip for you, in order to remove the default stairs that seem to appear every time you select a PMDG aircraft, you need to go into its FMC. You select the FS Actions, go to Ground Services, and go to page 3, and here you will see a button. And if you click this, previously it said stairs, I've just clicked it to change it to jetway, and as you can see, the jetway, the stairs have pulled away and disappeared. They'll actually pull away from the aircraft and drive away and disappear. So we're going to test the jetway here. We're on stand 27. Let's see if the jetway works. It's a really nicely detailed jetway. Motion is very realistic and it looks really good. Love the weathering on it. Now let's just see how well it connects to this aircraft. So remember, we're in the new PMDG 737-800. Now how about that? That's probably the best connection I've seen so far on a jetway. Well, that is really good. Let's have a look from the other side. Well, that's really impressive. So as you can see, the jetway connects. Okay, it's gone through a little bit on this side, but this is still pretty much one of the best connections I've seen. So let's disconnect. I mean, that's pretty impressive, and you can see actually this is bumping slightly, which is what it does in the real world. I've stood at Heathrow and Gatwick and watched many of these things happen, and that's pretty realistic. So there you go, that does it for jetways. They work and they look really good. So that about does it for the jetways. You can see they're really detailed and they work really well. Let's go and have a look at the airport itself proper. I'm going to start with a slow pan from the western side to the eastern side, so you can look at some of the detail, the amazing amount of detail that's been applied to this airport. You look at the number of vehicles, the ground markings, and the airport clutter itself, the state of the buildings. Buildings are really nice, they've been weathered. You know, lots of different types of vehicles, plant foliage here. This is so detailed. It's one of the most detailed airports I've seen, and have to say the team at IniBuilds really have gone overboard here in the nicest possible way. Absolutely stunning. And there is interior modelling, you can see even through the windows here. And just look at this. Absolutely stunning detail. Everything right down to the airside roads. Beautiful vehicles. Control tower over there looks really good. The trees and the foliage. It's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. There's no other word for it. And we're still going, as you can see. They've modelled everything. What an amazing piece of work. It really is breathtaking. So here you've got the GA apron. Got one of my helicopters there too. Just looks great. They've even got look, a tow bar sitting there. And as we go off airport slightly here, look, you can see more bits and pieces that's been modelled. So just a quick shot there looking towards the threshold of runway 24. You can see vehicles coming around the roads here. Just, you know, it's just stunning. So let's start a tour towards the landside part, going over some of this detail here, and you can see, I mean, it's just wonderful. I'm afraid this could well be ending up being a long review, but I'll try to keep it as short as I can. There's so much to see here. Look at the buildings and the vehicles. Wonderful weathering down there. This is really incredible. And as you get close, the signage is good. It doesn't fade or blur. It's really, really good. Hand placed vegetation down here. Here's the fuel farm. And I'm pleased to say little or no stuttering at all. It's a very, very fluid scenery. So coming down the landside road here, I mean, just look at this. We've got some solar panels there. And look at the vegetation. I mean, okay, many of you probably won't even see this if you're the sort of people that just do the flying and that's it. I mean, I understand that, I get it. But just look at this. It really brings it all to life. Let's stop, have a quick look at the control tower. So there we can see from the outside, a really nice view inside. The glass looks good. Let's go in. And there we are inside the control tower. You can see all the screens, the chairs, some lovely modelling. Again, the only thing that's missing is people. I know that sounds really like a silly piece of nitpicking, and yeah, you're probably right. But you know, if you're going to do the inside of a place like this, it would be nice to have a controller or two sitting somewhere. But other than that, what a nice piece of work. I love the way that you get the slightly dull view out through the windows glass. Just looking towards the runway 06 threshold, towards the west there. Really nice view. And looking eastwards towards the threshold of runway 24. And before we continue, here's a little close-up look at the trees. A look at the animation. Beautiful palm trees, really nicely detailed, and they're waving in the wind. Although there's not much wind, I've got no weather loaded, so can't see it all very well, but they are just lovely. So we continue the landside tour here. As you can see, the foliage and fauna is beautiful. Some lovely buses, beautiful colours here on the landside part of the buildings. These all come to life in the darkness, and I'll show you in a bit. Let's just stop and have a look at some of the entrances here. So not sure whether that's the wrong way around for a reason, or whether it's probably because when you come out through arrivals here, then this is what you'll see, and that's probably the right reason. And here's a nice shot showing you the detail on the arrivals area. Look at these signs, they're absolutely crisp and clear, eminently readable. Here you can see inside the doors. And the cars, we're pretty close up, and look at the modelling. Absolutely stunning modelling here. No blurring, the wheels are round, and just really, really nice. So here's a quick look up close here, and you can see what amazing modelling there is here. This is all still really clear, and actually this is pretty clear too. You know, you can get an idea of what this looks like. And the modelling here, the texturing, absolutely stunning. Inside you can see as well, we'll look at that in a little bit later. And there's a little shot looking back where we came from. and the modelling on the building is incredible. So continue a landside tour close to the building here. The Costa Coffee looks lovely. That looks really good. And again, here on the landside part, which as a pilot you're not going to see very much, again they've done an amazing job on the modelling. Everything is crystal clear. All the road markings haven't been left to photo scenery. They've been properly done. Just really incredible. Every detail here, right down to the plant pots down here. What a job. And here, weathering on this building as well. This is a car park. I mean, that's pretty amazing. It's a lovely fashioned building, and there you've got the road continuing around the landside part. So I just want to tour this little bit just very quickly, just to give you somehow an idea of just the attention to detail and the lengths that they've gone to really get this looking the way it is. There's your landside car park. And I love the fauna, the way this has all been done. Absolutely lovely. See, here's an empty car park, but still it's been properly modelled. Everything right down to the entrance to the airport there. The buildings are beautifully done. This really is some stunning work. It's mind-boggling. It really is incredible. So here we are going to cross the fuel farm. We've got some more signage down there too. But you can see how detailed this all is. It's just wonderful. So here we're well off airport now, and yet still we have the wonderful attention to detail here on these buildings. Really amazing. It's very, very nice indeed. So while we're here, let's have a look at some of the ramp markings, some of the detail. And there you can see scuff marks on the ramp. Just a really incredible. So good taxiway signage on the ground there. Let's have a look at these signs from the other side. Yep, very nicely done, very clear. And here you can see the runway entry marking signs. Very nicely done. A little bit of weathering on them too. And we have wigwags along with blue airfield edge lights. Good signage on the ramp, lots of scuffer as well. This is nicely done. Let's just pop over to the other side of the runway and have a look at the what's been done over there. So there you can see the PAPI lights below. There's your windsock. There's the instrument landing box, or part of it, for the other end. And again, there's still more buildings that have been done here. So just looking at the threshold below runway 24, there you can see the extended little bit there. And the road that goes all the way out around the airport here. And you can see they've even done this as well. So we're at the extreme end of runway 24. Just off the side of the runway landside, you've got this little structure here. And here you can see you've got some advertising on it as well. Not as clear as the rest of it, but the fact that they've done it out here so far from the main airport just shows the level of work that's gone into this. And here's the same place looking from the other side, and you might remember from the runway low light runway shots we did a minute ago. Here you can see these changing lights. Not entirely sure what this is, but it does look nice. Anybody maybe who lives here might be able to tell me what this is. So very quick look at these flats here, which are a feature of Ibiza, just airside. As you come in to land at either runway, you can't fail to miss these, can't fail to see these. And they look good. It's all been properly modelled, and again, if you look down there, they've done some enhancements just to make it all work. It's not entirely photoreal. The road has been adapted and enhanced to look more real than it might otherwise do. But this is really beautiful. Again, they paid attention to something that's really not on the airport, but just to make this all look, this is probably one of the most complete sceneries I have seen for a while. And to be honest, I'm completely blown away by the price. I mean, this is a steal at just under £14 UK. This is a real steal for the amount of development work that's gone into this. This, for me, blows away any other Ibiza scenery that's been released so far. And I have to say, it's probably one of IniBuilds' best projects. Okay, time to lower the light now. Let's go down to dusk and see what the lighting looks like. I can't wait to see this. Okay, 26 minutes past 8 in the evening. It's the 29th of August in 2022. It's the summertime, and it's probably the best time I can get, because the slider, Asobo have a slider there for changing the time of day. It's not terribly accurate, so this is probably about the best that I can get it. But on first look, that looks really quite nice. There's lots of very subtle lighting there, which I think will improve as it gets darker. We'll have a look at that in a minute. But there you can see plenty of blue airfield edge lighting. We can see green centerline lighting here too. The runway is well lit, no problems with that at all. I need to look at the signage in a minute. Here's the little thing I was telling you about off the airport. We'll have a close look at that in a minute. And here you've got the city of Ibiza in the distance. And there's just a quick view looking in the other end. The sun, of course, has gone well down, and we're looking at the threshold of runway 06 there. So let's get down onto the ramp and have a look and see what things are like. Okay, so here's the SkyUp 737-800 sitting on stand 27 as it was before, and here we are looking at the Airside Terminal. There you've got vehicles travelling on the airside roads, properly lit along with the noise. Now the ramp lighting looks great. We're looking in the other direction there, and again you can see everything looks fine. Let's get a close-up look at the stand near where the Jetway is. So here's a nice shot showing you the detail on the Jetway. Here you can see, look at the weathering that's been done here. The weathering is fantastic. This all looks incredible. I think finally when they get GSX sorted out and we get passengers properly going down the jetways, it'll be quite something to see them coming down here. So here's a quick look from airside, looking into some of the buildings. As you can see, there's lots of modelling. Here this has all been internally modelled. I'm not sure if this looks like a facade, but as with other sceneries that have done this, the facade is nearly perfect. The lighting's fantastic. I don't see any Asobo globes hanging around. They've done every little bit that's needed, right down to these little lights. So there you go. Yes, that is indeed a facade, but it's extremely real. Here we are close up and it looks fantastic. And here we've just popped inside the window of that other building we just looked at, and you can see that's real and it's been beautifully modelled. Everything right down to the air conditioning outlets in the ceiling here. And the lights. No artificial lighting producing light from without a source. That's really impressive. So just want to go down this road very quickly, well very slowly actually, but just a little bit to let you have a look at the signage on the buildings and on the roadways. I mean, everything down to the signage here on the bridging. There you've seen that baggage tug go down the road there. And here we are looking at the main terminal from the Airside Road. As you can see, that's been developed inside, and it looks amazing from the outside. Can't wait to see it inside. Again, the buses are beautifully modelled, round wheels, no problems with that, no blurring at all. Ground markings are really good, everything right down to the plants. And again, we've got internal modelling on the upper level. Looks really stunning. And there you've got a coach going away in the distance. So sorry about that going through the Jetway there, but just look at this. The modelling is just fantastic. And just while we're here, just wanted to show you this. This is an example of just how much detail they've gone into. Here we are. I mean, this is amazingly detailed. The whole place looks fantastic. But here, they've even gone to the trouble of putting the moss and all the crap that you usually find on top of a building that's been left for a while. See, you've got some plants sitting there and moss and debris that accumulates on top of building roofs at airports generally all the world over, and they've modelled it. It just looks great. And again, you've got this facade here that makes this all look pretty real. The structure is fantastic, and the way they've done this is just mind-boggling. Okay, some quick shots of the landside area and the bits and pieces that stand out for me. Here again, you've got this illusionary type modelling on the building that gives you the illusion of depth and things going on inside, and again, it's been really nicely done. See, if we go up close, the effect is still there. It's still pretty well done. And here's an example of the lighting I told you about. I just have this really beautiful lighting changes that go down the side of the building here. And again, the top, even the roof has been properly modelled with the correct lighting and colours. That's amazing. So here we are looking into the departures point of the building from Landside with the signage. Again, just wonderful. No other word for it. Very well done. And there's a shot showing the Landside Road all the way down past the terminal, and here you can see the beautiful colouring they've done on the buildings. It's really stunning. There's some animated flags for you, and you've got this Ibiza name on the building here. This all looks really, really good. It's just really phenomenal. Couple of quick views over the Landside Car Park. As you can see, you've got covered parking that's been lit. All the cars are in the right positions. And again, you've got this beautiful foliage and fauna that just makes the airport look real. So there's a slightly wider high level shot of the airport from Landside, showing you the Landside area and the lighting and the terminal, and just the whole thing looks great. So let's go inside the terminal, have a look at some of that development very quickly before we go to night time. So we're starting at the arrivals end of the building. There you can see a car rental agency, some silage, and the signage again is crisp and clear, which makes it look really good. And here's a quick shot looking from inside that car rental desk out towards the entrance and showing you other bits and pieces. Vending machines here, computers complete with screens, lovely clean floor effect here, and as you can see, we're inside the place, so it's not just a facade. Whole thing looks really good. So let's traverse this concourse all the way up towards the departures end and have a look at what's on offer here. Remember, this is Landside. Here you can see the various check-in desks, or information desks rather, from the various airlines. And all of these signs are so well detailed and so clear. I mean, the modelling is stunning. Really is beautiful. And you can even see outside through the glass outside to the road, which is good, really, really good. So here we are coming up towards the central concourse. Quick look at the baggage carousels. Again, nicely modelled, lots of good signage, crystal clear. Really, really stunning. Absolutely incredible. Just about every sign is totally clear, even close up. I mean, the work that's gone into this. Wonderful, just wonderful. So before we look at check-in, let's go upstairs. Oh, nice to see Johnny Depp gets a look in there. And again, some beautiful modelling and lovely attention to detail. And there in the other direction. And there we are, just looking down from the upper level there, so you can see. So let's go and have a look at check-in. So we just stop here for a moment, and here you can see the check-in desks from the various airlines and the numbers and the signage. Even got these waste bins here, just absolutely wonderful. So here we go up close, and you can see the check-in desks here, and the baggage conveyor system has been modelled, even though it's not animated. These are all nicely weathered. They look as though they've been here for ages. Amazing. And once again, although this is a little bit blurred, you've got the check-in desks themselves with the computer screens. So just a slow pass here to have a look at some of the check-in desks. All various different airlines here and handling companies such as Menzies have all been mentioned and shown here. Really, really nice. Everything right down to the decals on the doors. So a little bit further down to the other end, and we still have this excellent attention to detail here. It's just stunning. And again, just another shot here at the other end of the building, showing the seating plinths here in the middle, and the signage. The clarity of it just blows me away, really. Just quickly go around the corner here. I mean, look at that signage, just wonderful. The resolution of it is excellent. And here's an interesting shot here showing you the exit doors and the way the glass works in portraying the view outside. There you can see the coach, you can see the palm trees and lights, and the way it all looks with this glass. Looking in the other direction, same situation there. You can see outside, and the whole thing is slightly misted by the way the glass is done. Very impressive. So let's go airside and have a look at the airside internal. So here we are, having gone inside the building, and again we've got the same attention to detail. Really, really nice. And a quick tour down here. Lighting is excellent, it's properly supplied. The seating, just the whole thing is really well done. Really well done. And they even have the VIP room. Let's go in here. And here you can see the VIP room's been nicely done. A television there showing a football game. Only I can't see is a bar. So we have a last look down the terminal airside there. You can see it's just, there's no other word for it. It's been beautifully modelled. The only thing I have to say is, as I said, that there are no people. That's the only thing that's missing. Not sure why. Developers often make this decision not to include figures, and other developers do include them. I guess there may well be a frame rate hit, I don't know. Not a developer, so I don't really understand the process or how much of a hit it has. I mean, I've seen some sceneries where they have people, model people moving, animated people, and there doesn't seem to be any hit at all. But IniBuilds have done a fantastic job modelling this terminal, both inside and out. And probably, as I say, the only nitpick, and that really is all it is, just a nitpick, would have been nice to see some people. Even if they were just static ones sitting down, and a couple of guys in the control tower would have been nice too. But that's really my only nitpick so far. So that was dusk, that was looking around the airport. As you can see, the light is beginning to go lower. Let's drop it down to night time now and have a look at the whole thing. Okay, so just after 10 PM local time, and as you can see, all the stand areas and the building is well lit. The lighting is really good. It's subtle in some places where it needs to be. I don't see any Asobo globes at all within the terminal complex or the apron complex, and even landside you need to go right out here before you start seeing any artificial lighting. And we're looking towards the threshold of runway 06, which is here. As you can see, centerline lighting, taxiway lighting that will take you towards the apron, and once you get to this part you've got plenty of light. Plenty of blue airfield edge marking, red lights as well as you come off the runway. All looks really quite good here. I haven't seen any vehicles entering the runway, which is another plus for me. But let's go over here and have a look at some signage and see what this vehicle's doing while we're at it. So you've got signage lighting there onto the left showing the taxiway. And here we are at the very threshold of 06. And this is really good. Okay, green centerline lights lead up there. You've got your stop bars. Here's the runway. Here are your signs, which are properly delineated and properly marked. Slightly weathered, there's a glow about them which makes them look good. I really like the reflections here. And you've got your wigwags. So there we are looking down the runway. So when you touch down or take off, you'll have your nose gear light that will light up the runway. But as you can see, plenty of exits, plenty of signage, no problem at all. Another quick look at the airside area where my aircraft is parked. It's lovely, it's so realistic. Animations are really good, the buses are great. Quick look at the roof. As you can see, just about everything's been modelled. Every single air conditioning unit and block and bits and pieces that exist on here, including the solar panels, have all been accurately modelled. So a couple of quick shots landside showing you the colours and the lighting. Not going to spend too much time on this because this will end up being a long review. I don't want it to be too long, but there is so much to see, so much I haven't even touched on yet. I mean, just look at the lighting. It's beautiful. The road lighting and the way the trees and everything is lit up. Subtle lighting on the buildings and no artificial lighting that I can see. The buildings have the proper lighting. It's a wonderful landside shot there. Quick look at the control tower and you can see it's lit from the inside. That's really good. We've got the red lights on the top, which are mandatory. Just everywhere you look, it just looks beautiful. The modelling, the texturing, the shadows, all of it looks just really nicely done. Everything down to the ground clutter and the buildings nearby, beautiful lighting. Look, even the signage on the road, and you've even got oil spills here. So that was a night view. Let's bring it up to dawn now and have a look at what the buildings look like with the sun reflecting on them. So it's 25 to 8 in the morning local time. As you can see, the sun's coming up and you've got this really nice glow on the buildings. All the lights are pretty much gone out now, but as you can see, it does look really nice. So anybody coming in for an early dawn landing or departure is going to get this amazing view. And here's another view looking towards the east. There you can see the rising sun. We've got the airport there below us. It looks really, really nice. Okay, 8:30 in the morning local time. The sun's well up now. Time to wrap up this review and give you my conclusions. Right off the bat, let me first, as I've said before, let me thank IniBuilds for sending me a copy of this, a free copy. And despite that, folks, as ever, my opinions and thoughts are my own. They're not influenced in any way by the developer. Having said that, I have to say this is one of the top airports that I've looked at. It's right up there with Fly Tampa, with BALEARIC Dev Company. The only thing that's missing, the only thing I can find that's missing, apart from the ILS X, which has been discussed and will hopefully be fixed, the only thing I can't see are people. Everything else, the detail is so highly detailed, so beautifully done. This is probably one of the best airports on the market. And what makes it even better, and probably even more astonishing, certainly from my viewpoint, is the price. I mean, this is under 14 quid. When you look at people like WF Scenery Studios who release Hong Kong and release Beijing for getting on for 27 euros, we're getting towards sort of 24, 25 pounds. This is over 10 pounds cheaper, and yet it has arguably more detail than those sceneries have. Okay, those sceneries are huge. But if you look at the area that's worked on and the amount of work that's been needed to get every single thing I've looked at to make it look as real as possible, I think this is a steal. £13.49 plus VAT, this is an absolute steal. It's the best Ibiza scenery out available there on the market, both freeware or payware. It's absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. And if you have Mallorca, Palma by Just Flight, and there's a new Menorca scenery just come out, which I may well get and review because I fly down here quite a bit now and then. It's a lovely place to have a little 2-hour flight down here. You're going to have an absolutely wonderful time in this part of Europe. So do I think it's worth the price? Yeah, it's an absolute steal. We're looking at a scenery that's probably worth 18 to 19 euros in my opinion. It's so beautifully done. They've looked at everything and they've modelled everything, all the attention to detail, right the way down to the road signs. And again, the things I like about this is they've done the road signage landside as well. They've not left anything to photo scenery. They've enhanced photo scenery where they've discovered it and they've needed to. And this airport looks real in a way that so many airports don't. I can clearly say that they've taken the facilities that Flight Simulator 2020 gives us and they've used it to the full. It's a beautiful airport, thoroughly worth the price, and my opinion, yeah, go and get it, don't wait, just go and buy it now, it's wonderful. So this was Ibiza International Airport in the Balearic Islands, Lima Echo India Bravo, payware scenery by IniBuilds. And bear in mind, thankfully, it's both not only for the PC, but it's available for Xbox version S and X. Really, really good, that is. Download is 1.58 megs, just under 1.58 gigs, just under 6 gigs, and it installs at just over 3.2 gigs. And it's available direct from IniBuilds' website, which I'll put up for you as well. Current price is €15.87, which equates to US $15.77 or £13.49. Bear in mind, these prices are direct quotes from the IniBuilds website, and they do not include tax or VAT, so you'll need to add that. But even if you do, I still think it's a really, really cheap price. It's a wonderful piece of work. So my name's Lee, I'm your virtual airline pilot, wrapping up another scenery review. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this. There's so much to look at, and actually so much I haven't touched on. Waiting to hear from IniBuilds about fixing the ILS X, but apart from that, such a wonderful product at a wonderful price. No hesitation at all in recommending this. So thanks again for joining me, and I will see you in the next review video this week, where I will be looking at Airsoft's Cologne Bonn Airport, which has come out not so long ago. Another good developer who does good attention to detail. We're going to have a look at that too. And I do hope to release a video review of the 737-800, which will be my first aircraft review of any kind really, so hopefully that will work out. So thanks again guys, have a great week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.